Welcome back to the UR Immeasurable podcast, season 3. This season is going to be dedicated to those of us that are on our journey of healing and transformation. The focus of this season is going to be to identify and recognize healthy and unhealthy relationship dynamics. We're going to talk a lot about the spiritual tools that we'll need to become acquainted with to help us to stand, to operate in, and to flourish as our authentic self. Things like shadow work, energy healing, which will help us to shred or shed the guilt, the shame that we've been carrying, and also to do some much needed subconscious reprogramming. Now, as always, the episodes are going to air weekly, and the purpose of them is to support you as you embrace and become acquainted with your enlightened and untethered higher self. So I want you to grab your water, your juice, your wine, or your tea or your coffee, and let's toast to each other and our growth, our elevation, and abundance. Welcome back to the UR Immeasurable podcast. Today, I want to just do a little something, keep it kind of quick, but I want to bring up something that is very crucial to assess when you're on a transformation or personal development journey. And that is where your comfort zone comes into play in this journey. And this is the reason that I bring that up, because a lot of what has us sometimes weary or concerned about what's next, where we're going, what we're doing, is that we've become complacent in our comfort zone. And the whole premise of personal development is to make us uncomfortable, to shift us, to move us, to shake some shit up, to break some walls down, to eradicate some things that are no longer serving us, false beliefs, incorrect information, assess our conditioning, and all things like that have become our amenities and our comforts within our comfort zone. And so when we want to hold to that, because this is what we know, this is what we have accepted as normal, and just like the name suggests, this is where we've become comfortable, it can be really, really scary. It can be really, really hard, and it will take a whole lot of determination, tenacity, and fight. Leave that behind. And so today, I just want to kind of point at that little thing there that can make our journey into the best us, the next version of us, our next elevation in life. Being stuck or refusing to let go of our comfort zone can make it that much more difficult. And truthfully, it is a trap that will keep us stuck and will keep us from growing. And as usual, I always try to give you some sort of illustration or some sort of picture or story to make it make sense for you so that you can kind of see it in your mind's eye yourself. Say you are going to a doctor for your annual visit, right? Your annual physical or what have you. And we know they do all this blood work. They do all of these things to check whatever, everything, nothing, all of that fun and groovy stuff. And say that you go have the physical, a couple of days later, you get a call and the nurse is like, well, hey, we got your blood work back and everything looks pretty good except your A1C. Your A1C is 5 or 5.5, which we usually categorize as being pre-diabetic. So what that means is you're going to have to make some changes in your life. You're going to have to back up off of the refined sugars. You're going to have to back up off the carbohydrates, meaning the breads and the pastas and the potatoes and all of those things in order to bring that number down. And depending on who you are, depends on what you do with that news, right? Some of us may see that as, oh shit, okay, I gotta do better. I gotta change my eating habits. I have to add an exercise routine. I gotta get my body moving. And, or you can be one of those people that's like, you know what? They just trying to scare me. And I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing because I'm not diabetic at this point, and I may never be. So this is just all hype, and this is all just them trying to control me. And so I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Now, see, in that example, it's a couple things that you can pick up from there. If you're the one that says, this is my warning, this is my aha moment that I need to take better care of myself. This is my body telling me that I'm not loving it properly. And so I need to do better. That's the person that says, yeah, I need to change my eating habits. I need to enlist a personal trainer or develop an exercise routine or add something in, go walking every evening or just something again to get my body moving, to do better, feel better, and all of that. And keep this from progressing to the next stage or what have you. That's somebody that has made up their mind that, okay, yeah, I want better. I want better than where I'm at right now. I want better than I've had or I've been in the past. So they are dedicated to doing what needs to be done, right? Now, the person that says, no, I like how I'm eating. I'm enjoying my potatoes and my pasta and my bread, and I'm not giving that up and I'm not changing that for nobody. That's the person that's stuck, or rather have decided that, okay, this is my comfort zone. These are my comfort foods. These are the things that makes me happy, and I'm not willing to let them go. So you have allowed yourself to be trapped in that particular mindset, that particular limited way of thinking, that particular box. You said it. So, hey, all righty then. I've gotten the news that things may not be so great, but hey, guess what? I know what this is. I like it. It makes me feel great. And so I'm going to stick with it. That's what I'm going to do. And we have to understand that that means you're not even willing to try. You're not even willing to put forth the effort. You've decided that you aren't worth the work. And I know that may sound harsh. I know that may sound terrible. It felt terrible after I said it. Like, wow. But that's what it is. You're not betting on you in that instance. You're not setting yourself up to go higher, to go further, to do better, to be better, to achieve more, to see more, to experience more. Because even with this example, your health is already beginning to deteriorate. And if you have the mindset of, I'm going to just keep on doing what I've been doing because that's what works for me, you're not even willing to show yourself a little love in that, have a better experience. Does that make sense? And there's a lot of things that come with that mindset, honestly. And it could be conditioning. You've heard or you've known, and this happens with a lot of us, right? A lot of us, it's a common thing in our family. Mama, grandma, papa, maybe brothers and sisters. They've been living with diabetes for years. You've heard the conversations, you know about the medications and all of these things and the processes and, how to play with it and all of that. So you see that particular state, to you it's normal and you're okay with it because you said, hey, I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing and whatever happens, happens. Another thing that can keep us stuck in our comfort zone is fear of being out of control. Because see, on the other side of your comfort zone is foreign territory. On the other side or on the outside of your comfort zone, you don't know that as well as you do everything in that little safe space that you've created. Even though that space may not be so safe, right? But you know what happens in there. You know what goes on. And so if you're like, I'm not even going to try to step up out of here, I'm not even going to try to venture out and see what's on the other side of this or on the outside of this, there's a fear that you can't control what's going on out there. And isn't that part of the adventure that is transformation? Isn't that part of all the what ifs of the things that can go right? But if you're not willing to take that step or make that effort or even to formulate the decision that something different is required, then where are you really trying to go? And again, I just wanted this to be a little quick something, a little, a little agitation for transformation to give you something to think about and to ask a question or put something in your mind's eye to really evaluate how we're going about achieving these goals of transformation or personal development. So I'd like to know, are you really, really looking at your current patterns, your current comfort zones, the current places and things that you have decided aren't that bad? And so you avoid messing with those areas or touching those areas, or don't even want to talk about them, don't bring them up, or do you don't want nobody else to bring them up? I want to know. I want to know. I want to hear from you on this because I know that for myself, sometimes, yeah, it's like, you know what? I just want me a big old bowl of fried potatoes with some onions and, maybe some smoked sausage or something, maybe some cheese and some sour cream, just pile it on just because at that moment, that's what I want. And I've even gotten to the point that I have to think about it. Well, why am I about to do this? Because what's going to happen when we eat a meal that heavy, right? With all the crap that we piled on top of, already this big bowl of carbs, right? And what happens after that? You eat that and it's amazing. Next thing you know, you're on the couch sleep because you have no motivation. You have no, desire to do anything other than you just fat, full, and happy for that moment. How are we doing this, or how are we exhibiting that same behavior right there when it comes to our personal development and our transformational journey? Where are we falling asleep? Where are we allowing the comforts that are not serving us to lullaby us into complacency and stagnation and on the couch sleep? Let's talk about it. I really want to know. And I want you guys to think about that because, hey, this is an episode to make you think about something, to think about these things, maybe in a different way than maybe you have in the past, or how you think about them right now in your present. So leave me a comment and let me know. Even especially if this has made you really be like, well, damn, what the hell am I really doing? If it did that for you, I want to know. I want to hear that. Okay? All righty. So until next time, cheers to your transformation. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the UR Immeasurable podcast. Please remember to subscribe so that you can be notified whenever new episodes are dropped. Also, I'd love to have your feedback and your comments, as well as your 5-star rating. Additionally, if you'd like to connect with me, the show notes list all of my social media handles so that you can do so. So until next time, thank you so much, and cheers to your transformation.